Hi, my name is Esther Low, and my faculty mentor for this research was Dr. Emma Froh. This research project is titled How Are Biofoundries Contributing to Developments in Medicine? So, a little bit of background about myself before I begin. I am a biomedical engineering and global health major at Arizona State University. And for this research project, I participated with the School for the Future of Innovation in Society's undergraduate research scholars program. I also participate in the Anderson Laboratory at Arizona State University as a research assistant, and my current research focuses on point-of-care microfluidic medical devices as well as immunology research. I am passionate about utilizing higher education to pursue graduate level research in order to improve health literacy around the world. So, kind of an outline for the research I produced was first, I go through with what are biofoundries and who is Ginkgo Bioworks in this space. And I move forward with the research questions I seek to address in this project. Then I review the methods that I use in order to address these research questions, and then move forward with the research, which included who is Ginkgo Bioworks engaging with, what medical devices and conditions does Ginkgo Bioworks target, what kinds of therapeutics does Ginkgo Bioworks acquire or work on, and then I conclude with a conclusion and my references. So, most importantly, what are biofoundries? So, not a term that's currently used very frequently, I would assume that biofoundries are basically companies that engineer biology to serve a specific purpose. In this project, I will explore how biofoundries contribute to developments in medicine, but it is important to note that they are involved in a variety of different fields, including Ginkgo Bioworks. So Ginkgo Bioworks is a company that was founded in 2008, and they have their headquarters in Boston, Massachusetts. They are termed as the organism company because they are one of the leading biofoundries in cell programming. So one of their coined terms is that they make biology easier to engineer, which basically relates back to how they essentially are a biofoundry. Ginkgo Bioworks is involved in pharma and biotech, in the industrials and the environment, food and agriculture, consumer and technologies, and they strive to be a platform company in all these fields. So the photograph that you can see to the right is a picture of one of Ginkgo Bioworks' lab spaces. You can see that they use many different technologies, proving their engineering skills, and that's how they use cell programming in order to be a biofoundry. So the research questions that I focused on for this project was number one, what medical applications are Ginkgo Bioworks currently working on? And number two, who is Ginkgo Bioworks partnering with in order to advance medical applications? So both these research questions tie back to how do we understand biofoundries and how are they currently involved in the developments of medicine going on around our nation? The methods that I used to answer my research questions was first to review all of Ginkgo Bioworks' press releases. In total, there were 439, and they were published between July 2014 and ended somewhere in November 2023. Out of these 439 press releases that I read, 35 specifically mentioned a medical advancement or a therapeutic that Ginkgo Bioworks worked on. Out of these 35 press releases, I categorized them into what type of medical issue was Ginkgo Bioworks seeking to solve, the targeted therapeutic that they produced, financials that were involved, and the type of relationship with the partner if they were working with one. After that, I evaluated the consistencies per the category to understand Ginkgo Bioworks' advancements in medicine, and therefore tying back to how are biofoundries improving health today. So the first part of my research included who is Ginkgo Bioworks engaging with? And I found this important to include first because it relates back to what are they doing and how are they doing it? So this relates to how they are doing it. As you can see on the table to the left, I found the relationships that they had included government agencies, pharmaceutical companies, companies that they completely bought out, companies that they spun out, and companies that they were involved with, but only to acquire capabilities or form investments with. So then you can see in the next column the number of press releases that were categorized per the relationship. You can see that pharmaceutical companies ranked at number one with 14 different relationships. And then I categorized each of these into than 1,500 employees, or whether the partner was large, which is more than 1,500 employees. So you can see that Ginkgo Bioworks engages with a multitude of small and some large pharmaceutical companies, and these large pharmaceutical companies are more known to the everyday person, like Moderna and Pfizer. Ginkgo Bioworks also acquires many of its assets, such as antigen tests, by purchasing them from the large pharmaceutical company, which the research will focus on in the next slides. So using this pie chart, I decided to separate what medical diseases and conditions Ginkgo Bioworks targets. So as you can see, the largest slice of this pie are infectious diseases, and that mainly links to the press releases being including the time of COVID-19, and the infectious diseases were mainly COVID-19. So, but you can also see that they focus on bacterial infections, chronic diseases, disorders, and cancer, but just not as much as infectious diseases. I also included a slice of the pie chart, which is in blue, that is labeled Other at 19%. These are press releases that didn't specifically label what medical disease or condition the press was focusing on. So from this pie chart, I found that Ginkgo Bioworks currently targets their platform towards a diverse set of 22 medical conditions, which is very impressive because many pharmaceutical companies only target their focuses towards maybe one or two medical diseases or conditions, but you can see the difference and the splendor of biofoundries that they can target so many different medical conditions because of their engineering of biology. Moving forward, I next decided to understand what kinds of therapeutics does Ginkgo Bioworks acquire or work on. And again, I separated these into my pie chart. So the pie chart included synthetic medicine, RNA therapeutics, living medicine, other, which included essential or herbal medicines, vaccines, antibiotics, and the largest slice of the pie chart was antigen tests. So antigen tests, to be clear, was something that Ginkgo Bioworks acquired, but also worked on. So tying back to the relationships, Ginkgo Bioworks received many antigen tests for COVID-19 from large pharmaceutical companies, including Moderna and Pfizer, in order to distribute them during the time of COVID-19. So Ginkgo Bioworks receives funding from these companies or government agencies, including the CDC or the NIH, in order to pursue the distribution of these tests for COVID-19, as well as developing all these therapeutics. So again, they work on so many different things at one time, including acquiring and developing, because they have this ability to engineer and sell programs. So basically, this research was to understand how are biofoundries contributing to development in medicine, and how can we focus on Ginkgo Bioworks as one of the leading biofoundries to draw conclusions to this answer. So in conclusion, I understood that recently focused efforts on the biosurveillance of COVID-19, the pandemic, was a priority for Ginkgo Bioworks. As you can see, they were acquiring many different antigen tests and being involved with partnering with many pharmaceutical companies. They engage mostly with these large pharmaceutical companies to acquire these antigen tests for COVID-19, but at the same time, they work on the production of many other therapeutics for a multitude of medical conditions. Biofoundries, including Ginkgo Bioworks, are contributing to a vast development in medicine in our current day, which spans from these therapeutics to biosurveillance. So my references include Ginkgo Bioworks, the organism company, their website, as well as all the press releases that I read. And it's important to note that this research was supported by a grant from the National Science Foundation to Dr. Emma Froh and by the SFIS Undergraduate Research Fellows Program at ASU. Thank you.